Hi, I'm Arjun. I'm a writer, director, actor, and I'm very excited to be sharing with you my 10 tips for writing a 10-minute play. I'm going to go over these tips with you, and no matter where you are in your journey as a writer, these tips are going to help you. They're going to help you clarify your process. They're going to help you come up with new ideas. And I'm very, very excited to share them with you and brought to you by XFest. Tip number one, start with a moment. If you have an idea or a concept or a message that you want to start with, rather than starting with a message, start with a moment. For example, you have a daughter that's going to tell her father that she's moving out, or you have co-workers that are waiting for the results of a layoff. Start with a moment and then let your theme or your message come through with the actions of your characters. Tip number two, it's important to realize that constraints are your friend when it comes to a 10-minute play. Limit yourself, constrain yourself to one location, at maximum, maybe two locations. In terms of characters, try to limit yourself between 2 to 4 characters. Anything more than that, and you're losing the essence of what a 10-minute play is. It's a concentrated experience for the audience. So the more characters you have, you're diluting the experience. And it's also what constraints also help do in a festival like this, in which people are watching many different plays across the evening. When you constrain yourself down, you catch their attention very quickly. You can hold on to their attention for a longer time. And 10 minutes, you want to grip the audience and hold them there for the entire time. Before I get into the next tip, I do want to take a little bit of a sidetrack. It's important to realize that a 10-minute play is not a full length play shortened down. It's its own form, it's its own story. Tip number three, start late, leave early. What I mean to say is when you start your play, start as close to the point of conflict as possible. Don't have the whole, hi, how are you doing? What's the weather like? I read your email. Puts us right at the start of the conflict. Leave early. Essentially, you want to finish your play at a point at which the ending is felt. You don't want to wrap up and summarize and give a whole lot of information of what happened. Leave it early. Let the audience bask in the afterglow of the play. For example, if a decision is made or an information is revealed, and or as we like to say sometimes the turn, which again I'll come to it in one of the tips later, leave it soon after that. You don't have to carry on giving more information. Tip number four, give every character a strong want. Generally also want to give them a want that's something relatable, something that's human, something that's specific. For example, a daughter is about to tell her father that she's leaving and moving out. The daughter, her want, may be one of independence, or maybe the want is she wants to get away from her father. The father's want is maybe he wants to protect his child, or he wants to control her. Whatever those wants are, that is where the drama comes in, because when you give each character a want and those wants clash, that's where you get dramatic tension. Tip number five, make sure that your dialogue is doing multiple jobs. The thing about a 10-minute play is that every minute counts. You have to make sure that every line is earned. You have to make sure that dialogue is doing multiple jobs. There are 3 jobs that dialogue should be working on. Number one, ideally, you want to make sure that your dialogue is doing at least one of these 3 jobs. So either you're pushing the action forward or revealing information, you're revealing character, or you're sharpening the conflict. So If dialogue is doing at least one of these jobs, then yes, it's earned. And if it's doing two of these jobs, even better. Tip number 6. You want to be using subtext and not long speeches. People rarely express what they're actually feeling. Nobody actually says, "Oh, I'm so terrified that you're going to leave me." Instead, you could say, "I see you've packed up. Didn't even leave the mug." A dialogue like that can reveal so much more with subtext. Subtext is what characters don't say. It's what a character really wants. It's what a character is really thinking. And it's the things that they don't want to say. Use those in your plays. Tip number 7. Though you have a 10-minute play, it really helps to follow a structure. So you generally have 3 arc structure in a 10-minute play. You have the setup, you have the escalation, and you have the turn. In a setup, which is the first, let's say about 3 to 4 minutes, you're setting up what's happening, the world of the play. Who are we watching? Where are they? What is wrong or what is going off? That's usually your setup. The escalation then is all about the conflict. Maybe there's information that's getting revealed. There are secrets that are leaking out. There are things being said that can't be taken back. So that's the escalation. And you usually we're targeting between 4 to 6 minutes of a 10-minute play in the escalation side. And then you get to the turn, which is the final reveal or the final decision or the final consequence of what happens. Something is said, somebody leaves, and that usually is the turn. And as I mentioned before in the other tip, you want to end soon, just as the turn happens. You don't need to go and do a whole summary. This 3-act structure can help you when you're drafting your play. It also kind of helps you as you're writing. You might be thinking, where am I in this structure? And then write for that moment. Tip number 8. Use stage directions sparingly but specifically. When you're writing a play, you don't need to choreograph every single eyebrow raise or every second of the play. For example, she tore the letter in anger, right? That's a playable action. Tip number 9, end on meaning, not summary. You want to end your play at the point at which it's felt. Let the audience bask in the afterglow. Let the audience imagine what happened afterwards. You don't need to summarize. You don't need to try and bring all the plot points together. Tip number 10. Read your plays out loud. Scripts are not novels. They're not meant to be read. They are meant to be performed. They exist outside in life, in 3D space, with the audience connecting to your story. Here where the pacing sometimes might slow down. Here where dialogue doesn't really sit right. I love the fact that I've been able to stand here, walk around with you outside in this beautiful evening. The thing about writing is about telling human stories. So get out there in the world. Look around you. Look at your family members, your friends, your co-workers. Those are where stories really live. Walking around outside, people watching. That's a great way just to get an idea of a story. And that is what this festival is all about. We are the only species on this planet that tells each other stories of what it means to be human. That's why we're here. That's why this festival is happening. And that's what X-Fest is all about. Telling stories. Good luck with the writing. Looking forward to seeing you there.